questions to ask you for this quiet interview.
Great, Deante. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Mr. Bucon. How are you?
Thanks for having. I'm great. Thanks for having me do this interview today.
It's good. It's good. My first question for you is, what made you begin writing your books?
Well, hey, that's a great question. I've done 2 books so far. Originally, I started writing my own blog, and once I started doing the blog, I felt as if I was developing a kind of a voice, like my own style within the blog. And from there, I started asking myself, well, maybe I should start trying to put this into a book. And that's what I did. And that's when I started writing my first book.
Was like the leeway with it switching from blogging to writing difficult for you?
Actually, it wasn't. I found that I was spending a great deal of time and energy writing the blog. But then when I started to write the book, I had to say, what do I want to say throughout the whole book? What's the plot that I'm going to be using here? How do I want it to start? How do I want it to end? And I kind of did like an outline of the book. And then I just went through and I kind of used the style that I had writing my blog to write each chapter.
So you would say that becoming an English teacher has also helped you with learning how to write and like laying out it to like make it seem simpler to normal people?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how normal I am sometimes. I mean, you say it's like simple to normal people. Like, I don't know. Who are the normal people?
People just like who don't have a degree in like writing
Oh,
or grammar.
I don't, you know what? Here's the big thing, Deante. You don't have to have a degree in English, writing, literature in order to write. You can write any time that you want. You're an excellent writer yourself. And so, you don't have to go and get an English degree to do that. You can start writing now. Now, being an English teacher does help. Having some knowledge about, how to use the technology to develop the book, it was a big learning curve. And what I did is I just, went online, Googled the questions, just like students do. Sometimes you just got to ask yourself questions and find out the answers out there. Look at YouTube videos, instructional videos. That's how you do things like that. If you want it bad enough, you will find a way to make it happen.
It's a good answer, Mr. Bucon.
Thank you. Thank you.
To segue off of being an English teacher, what made you decide that you wanted to be an English teacher?
Wow. That is a great question. I think when I graduated, I knew that when I went to college, I knew that I was looking at 2 different things. I definitely wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to work with people, because that was kind of part of my personality. Contrary to what many people think, I'm a pretty nurturing person. I try to get along with people and try to like bring people together and help people out. And I really wanted to either go into some form of social work or I wanted to become a teacher. Well, when I went to college, I said, well, let's just try the teaching area first. Went to that, and I never really looked back. It was just a matter of deciding what subject I wanted to teach.
That's a good answer. Good inspired.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you ever think that your teaching would also inspire people?
Well, here's the thing, Deante. I know that teachers do inspire people, okay? I've had a lot of teachers in my life. Some of them have inspired me. Some of them haven't, It's the same way with like coaches, because you play football, you play lacrosse, right? I'm sure you've had coaches in your life who have inspired you and coaches who haven't. And I think that's the whole ticket to anything that we do in life is, we do what we can, we work hard, we make choices, we try to do the right thing, and hopefully somewhere along the line, you may inspire people. But I don't think I set out and said, hey, I want to inspire a bunch of kids, a bunch of students. I don't set it out that way. I said, I just want to do what I'd like to do, and if any inspiration comes from that, that's fantastic.
Are you inspired every day by like your students and the effort they put into
Oh,
working?
yeah. I mean, like your class and the junior class, both my junior classes, they're really inspirational. Came in this year, hadn't taught any of them before, and, there were times we kind of, had some rough spots, but I just love the enthusiasm that they bring into the class. It's the same way with the seniors. The seniors are these really great individuals who have been through 12 years of school. They're getting ready to graduate, and they're becoming such unique individuals. It'll be fascinating to see what they do once they graduate, but it's just really nice to be part of the journey with them.
Do you think that you'll miss like your students following after this year?
The seniors?
Yes, the senior
Yeah,
students.
absolutely. Around my room, I always like put up pictures. Like,
Mhm.
if you look in the back here, we have all our big like live a great story board where we have all these pictures of the seniors from their senior year.
Mhm.
I always take some and I put them up on the board, boards around my room. Um, I'll miss them, but I got two great classes, the great junior class coming in, and it's another year. It's another opportunity for some great adventures and to build some meaningful relationships. So, yes, I'll miss them, but life goes on. It'll be great to see them accomplish great things in this world.
If we look on your classroom, there seems to be like live a great story flyers everywhere. What does live a great story mean to you, Mr. Bucon?
Well, I actually saw this on social media.
Mhm.
It's actually um, I don't remember the guy's name, but he kind of developed this ad campaign. It was called "Live a Great Story." This idea that like people can take advantage of the time that they have. A lot of times I find that students are kind of working their way through life. And it's like, wow, my life is not the way that I want it to be. I'm not doing the things that I want to do. I'm not accomplishing the things that I want to. But the power is always there. And you have the choice to live a great life and to take every day one day at a time and say, this is the story that I'm telling today. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what that is, and that's what we talked about. It's like, don't wish away your life. Don't say, I can't wait till I graduate, because you have a story that's going on right now. So write it and make the best one that you can. So when you look back on it, say, yeah, I'm glad I did that.
So it just means do you like live every moment to its fullest?
Absolutely.
Don't
Yes.
regret your decisions.
Right. And you accept the good with the bad, because sometimes in stories, wonderful things happen, tragic things happen, but it's all part of the story of our lives.
That's good. That's a good
Thanks. Thank you.
response.
Thank you.
But to sidetrack off our great conversations,
Mhm.
Mr. Young, I know that you have adopted a child.
Yes.
Was there any like difficulties with adopting?
Um, Not really. When I first started doing it, I had to, you have to do a lot of legal things
Mhm.
to become eligible to do that. I had to actually get training to become a foster parent first, and then I had to have certification that would allow me to be an adoptive parent. And then after that, I was just working with different people, trying to find a good placement
Mhm.
uh, to see, what I could do to help a child who was really having some challenges in life.
So with your adoption, did you decide to like adopt from like a foster home, or did you
Mhm.
decide like how some parents like give up their kids at birth?
Oh, no, I knew at the time. That's a great question, Deante. What I found was that when I first started doing this, I found that a lot of the young people that are out there that are in foster care, they actually age out of the program, which means that once they turn 18, they can go out and do whatever they want, but they don't have any foundation because they've been in foster care, so they may not have that family foundation that will allow them to be successful. And the overwhelming majority of them actually become involved with crime and end up in jail, and it's not a good picture. And so to me, I always knew I wanted to adopt an older child, much simply because they were the ones that were most in need,
Hmm.
and I wasn't equipped to handle a small child.
So adopting for you
Mhm.
was to like give someone that you cared about a second chance.
Yes.
That's good.
Right.
Did you believe that the idea of adopting somebody would be like accepted within your family, or did you seem like backlash from it?
I had support from everyone in my family. I think people, they did ask me why I was doing it.
Hmm.
They asked the good questions like that you're asking. Um, it wasn't something I just said like, hey, I'm going to run down to the 7-Eleven, get a bag of chips and a drink.
Hmm.
It's something, like, doing something like this, it impacts my life, it impacts that child's life, and it was something I had to really think about and think about how it was going to actually change my life, and it did. But yeah, I think everyone was supportive of it, all my friends were supportive of it, because you need to have in life a group of people who will support you regardless of what's going on. It's the same way, like you look at it in the sense of like an adopted a child who is eligible for adoption or needs foster care doesn't have that support system, right? And so we need to make sure that they're being put into a system or into a family that has a support system. So I couldn't have done it by myself. I had to have friends, family, et cetera, supporting me.
Thank you, Mr. Bucon.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining me for this interview.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. And you're a fine student. Thank you for having me in on today.
Thank you.